One of the things that I do like about how Claudia is dealing with the threat of Trump's mass deportations is she's taken the approach of expect the best but prepare for the worst, right? And by doing that, she's restructuring the Mexican consulates as a first approach. The Mexican consulates are notoriously a nightmare to deal with because that's where neoliberal administrations in previous years have sent their friends to go live a fancy rich lifestyle and collect a fat salary in the US by just running a Mexican consulate. And it's also a fucking shame that the security guard at the Mexican consulates are the ones that know how you could get all the resources and access to this, that, and the other, right? Like, it just goes to show how useless they were and how much they were just useless. So I'm really glad that that's being restructured. One of the things that she announced a while ago is that 52 or something like that of the processes that you normally had to get an appointment for, you could do online now. The other thing is that with this round of getting ready for deportations, she's also announced that they are linking up with a ton of attorneys locally. They're trying to link up with a bunch of local organizers and basically set up local plans for how to deal with these mass deportations. That's where we play a role in later. The other thing that she did say also is that anybody who does end up getting deported gets full access back in Mexico to all the social services and all the social programs that we talked about in previous episodes. So that part's really cool there. And the announcement that was made today is that on January 6th, they're making an app available so that you have your contact info in there and you have your local consulate in there. And if you're having a conversation with an ICE agent and you feel like you're about to get locked up, you hit the button on the app and it sends a notification to both of those so that you have somebody already aware of the fact that you're going in, right? Now, for us, that helps a lot. In 10-ish, 15 years of community organizing, most of the work that I did had revolved around deportation defense, immigrant rights, and that also rolled into tenants union rights and tenant formations, which I'm really proud of a lot of that work. But a lot of the things that we focused on was prevention before people got picked up by ICE or before people got, basically in ICE's hands. So one of the ways here locally that a lot of people ended up in ICE's hands was basically DUI checkpoints. The way that DUI checkpoints worked around here in Ventura County is DUIs is the thing they catch the least of, right? So most of what they're catching when they set them up in the hoods, because they never set them up in the nice neighborhoods, is they're catching people with expired registration, expired insurance, expired license, suspicious, whatever. And when people end up in county jail, if it's an overnight even, ICE already has access to that database and they could just pick people out based on their immigration status. If that's going to be the case, throw them on the bus and by the next morning, they're already in a detention facility, right? So that was one of the things that we had to focus on a lot. So what we ended up doing here locally is we ended up developing a text messaging network system where the people didn't have to download an app. We were the only ones that had to have an app, and we sent out a text blast every Friday. Yo, trucha con los puercos que andan bravos hoy. And people would report back when they'd see a DUI checkpoint. By the time that checkpoint got set up, we already sent it out to thousands of people. So it helped a lot in the preventative part of it, along with running a bunch of workshops, how to identify what the ICE vehicles look like, the most common ICE vehicles. And people would send in pictures when they'd be like, hey, these ICE agents come in once a month to eat at my restaurant. This is what they fucking look like. So we'd blast it out to everybody and burn them out. So though that combined with the app, combined with the help from the consulate, the other thing that we're doing this time around too is we are pulling in help from the local community colleges legal departments for any of those volunteers that want to be middle persons or intermediaries or interns between us and the attorneys. Because the problem is, if we're blasting out all these workshops and we're handing out all this know your rights stuff and we're doing all this work, we got to put somebody's number on there. And if we put an attorney's number on there, they immediately get swamped. As it is, immigration attorneys are already swamped. So we're trying to have somebody that's going to be down to do that work, to be the intermediary so that we can resolve a lot of these issues and work in combination with the consulate and everything else. Also, for that text messaging system, we have a video on our YouTube, the Lab 805. I'm pretty sure the link is in bio. If you want to go listen to that, it's 7 years old. It's all in Spanish. We're going to do an updated one. But it's something that if y'all need help, if there's anything that I can help over a phone call or anything like that, please feel free to reach out. We're more than happy to get this cracking before the 20th.